Today we're talking about Evergreen versus Denver. Which is best for you? Evergreen and Denver are only about 35 to 45 minutes apart, but they couldn't be any more different from each other. Hi, I'm Holly Worley, and welcome back to the channel Living in Evergreen. If you're thinking about moving to Colorado, most likely you've been contemplating between the Denver area, the metro area, and maybe the foothills, like for example, Evergreen. So today we're going to break it down, city versus mountains. Let's start with the big picture. Obviously, Denver is a big city. It's got lots of conveniences on every corner. You've got lots of growth. You've got new construction. You've got new homes, new condos, new apartments, restaurants, gas stations are easy to find, easy to get to. Then you've got mountain living in Evergreen, for example. It's going to be a slower paced. Our conveniences are located in certain areas. Evergreen is quieter, it's more spread out. So the biggest obvious convenience versus lifestyle. So let's start with the daily lifestyle. What does each day look like? So you wake up in Denver, maybe your favorite coffee shop is on your street, on your block, or maybe you stop on your way to work, swing through a Starbucks or your favorite coffee store. Maybe you grab a Santiago's burrito and you head into work. Go for lunch somewhere maybe, go home for dinner. Maybe after dinner you meet up with some friends, or you go out, you go work out, you go to do yoga, whatever you enjoy doing after dinner. In Evergreen, your morning might look like you make your own coffee, you sit out on your deck, you enjoy listening to the birds and the squirrels chatter with each other in the morning. If you work from home, you might take a quick walk before you start your day. If you work down in the city, you might have to leave your house very early, depending on what time you have to be there. You could expect at least an hour plus of your drive in the morning. So neither one is better or worse. It just depends on what works best for you. So let's talk about the commute. If you are in Denver, your commute may be very short and quick if you live close to by where you work. To get from one point to the other in Denver, as a crow flies, it's really not that far. No traffic, it could be a 30 to 40 minute commute. But Denver traffic is getting heavier and heavier, and that could take you longer. If you live in Evergreen, you have to factor in the Denver commute plus the mountain commute. So you could give yourself an hour to get down the hill to get into the Denver metro area. And then you could also maybe add on a little time for traffic in the Denver area. You could also add a little time on depending on where you live in Evergreen. So if you are not close to the major highways like I-70 or US 285, or if you live maybe centrally where the downtown Evergreen area is, you can get down through Morrison. But if you're not close to some of those major exits, you could add maybe another 20 to 30 minutes of your commute. We also need to factor in the conditions, right? If it's raining or if it's wintertime, you're going to deal with hail, snow, and ice. We don't get fog here very often in the Denver area, but every once in a while in the mountains, we do get a storm that has rain and can cause some fog, so that could slow down your commute also. So if you do need to be in Denver on a daily basis for your work, it's just something to consider, something to think about when you're trying to make that decision. Am I living in the mountains or do I want to live in the city? Cost is another big factor between living in the Denver or Denver metro area versus the mountain area, like Evergreen, for example. You have much more to choose from in the Denver area. You've got a larger price point to choose from. You've got more townhomes, more condos, more single family, got a lot more new construction going on. In Evergreen, we do have condos, townhomes, not as much to choose from. Price points are going to be a little bit more higher. And so you want to keep that in mind when you're trying to make that decision as well. Cost of living is a little bit more here in Evergreen as well. Your gas is a little bit more, insurance is a little bit more. So you might want to keep that in mind too when you're trying to make that decision, city or mountains. So financially, Denver might have more flexibility for you. Space versus privacy. So this is where Evergreen really shines. In Denver, they're going to be much closer together. You're going to have a lot more density. In Evergreen, you're going to have homes that are spread further apart, a lot more space. For a lot of people, this is why they choose Evergreen, is because of the space, because of the privacy. So again, what is your lifestyle looking for? Space and privacy or more convenience? Let's talk about the vibe of living in Denver versus Evergreen. So obviously Denver, you've got so much more going on. It's vibrant. They've got new things coming. You've got new new restaurants, new entertainment. You've got movies constantly growing. The vibe in Evergreen is going to be a little more quiet, a little more subdued. And so those are two very big differences. And if your lifestyle, if you really like to be active all the time and want to be seeing the newest things going on and dinners or wine after dinner, Denver's a great place to be. Evergreen, after dinner time, you might go for a walk and it's pretty quiet. You'll see familiar faces in Evergreen. People will say hello, very community oriented. Your evenings might be a community project that you're working on. So who should live where? So if you want to be in Denver, you are probably more likely going to want to have a faster pace of life. You live in the city. You don't want a long commute and you just enjoy the livelihood of the city. If you want to be in Evergreen, you don't mind a little bit longer commute. You love peace, quiet, and space. A lot of people don't realize it, but you really can't have both. You're going to have some qualities of each in each one of them. Which kind of lifestyle you prefer? The city life or the mountain life. So if you're trying to decide between the city life and a mountain life, the best thing to do is really take a look at your day-to-day activities and lifestyle. And if you would like any assistance or help with trying to figure out what works best for you, I am happy to help you walk through that. My information is down below. Please reach out to me if you are thinking of making that move to Colorado and are trying to decide between that Denver metro area or the mountain living, perhaps maybe in the Evergreen area. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Living in Evergreen.